3, 2, 1. Good morning, respected teachers, guests, proud parents, and beloved students. Welcome to Cikal Bincang Bincang, one of the activities in our playground of Cikal Learning event. Thank you for coming today. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am Miss Yara and I will be your moderator for this session. Before we begin, let me give you a picture of what to expect for the next hour. In this session, we have Anandita Maiva Fitrianti Borman and Heisa Zuhro Shodikova from Service Learning Year 8 Serpong that will lead you in their activity where they will have a discussion, the Levam project, SDGs, gender equality, and women empowerment. During this session, it is encouraged that the audience participates in the activity. Please write down any questions you have for our speakers through chat feature of Zoom or YouTube. Also, upload your fun moment in the playground on your Instagram story. Don't forget to tag at Sekolah Cikal and use Playground of Learning Journey hashtag. So, without further ado, let's give a round of applause and warm welcome to our students.
So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Bincang-Bincang session. My name is Heisa.
My name is Nita. So today I will be talking about our project, the LFM project, and the stories behind it. But before we start, we would like to give a simple metaphor for you to think about.
Okay, so there are two people who want to eat a cake. They split the cake into two pieces so they can get the cake for themselves. But the distribution of the cake is not fair. One of them got the big piece and the other one got a small piece. It's not fair, right? The one has full, but the other one hasn't full yet. Now imagine that the person who got the big piece is a man and the one who got the small piece is women.
The metaphor is presented by our friend Belle, and she's also a student in the Raising Awareness class. And this metaphor is a good example of gender inequality. Women and girls are often get discriminated and are not given the same chances as the opposite gender, either from how society planted harmful stereotypes or how patriarchy was implanted so deep in our society, giving girls fewer chances and more obstacles to overcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Heisa and I'm a Year 8 student from Sekolah Cikal Serpong. I'm one of the creators for the Levam project and the Levam online newsletter. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Dita, you can introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Anandita Borman. Feel free to call me Dita, and I'm a Year 8 student from Sekolah Cikal Serpong. I'm also one of the co-founders of the Levam project, and I'm really excited to talk about it here. I'm comfortable with using both English and Bahasa Indonesia. Therefore, I'm sorry in advance because there will probably be a mix between both languages. So that's it for me. Heisa, maybe you want to talk more about what is our project?
Okay, so our project in general is about Goal 5 in SDGs, which is the gender equality. Our product contains an Instagram account and the online newsletter. So let's talk about why do we choose this goal, this project, this topic. Should I go first or you?
Sure.
Okay. So why I choose these goals? Because I face a lot the inequality gender in most countries that annoyed me. Like take an example from our countries, Indonesia. Many Indonesian people mindset has controlled from there in the infancy period. Because when you're in the infancy period, you will feel curious about things that you never knew before, and you will ask your parents what it's about, and your parents will answer with maybe their knowledge or their their knowledge that maybe a wrong statement or maybe it's not a complete explanation, so you can get misunderstood. And the example question is like, Mom, kenapa tempat ini. Misalnya kalian lagi berkunjung di sesuatu garment maybe, and you will ask your parents, Mom, ini kenapa kok di bagian ini tempatnya kebanyakan cowok? And your parents will answer, ya karena ini pekerjaannya berat gitu. And you will set your mind, okay, maybe pekerjaan berat dilakuinnya sama cowok gitu. But like, ya okay, karena mungkin tenaganya cowok lebih banyak ketimbang cewek, tapi kenapa cewek nggak bisa gitu ngangkat-ngangkat? Karena kan ya kalau misalnya nggak kuat, mereka bisa berdua gitu sama temen. Like, ya. Dan biasanya orang Indonesia bakal kayak tetap kekeh sama apa yang dia tahu dari kecil, kayak sesuatu yang tadi misalnya. Dan misalnya kayak mereka grow up and their friends tell them kayak misalnya itu tuh salah, tapi kayak bisa, tapi mereka tetap kekeh kayak enggak, kata mama aku tuh gini gitu. And yeah, that's my reason why I choose this school. So how's yours?
Well, I think I agree with most of your points, but for me, the reason why I chose this school is okay. First, because I stated why I chose this school. I want to tell you something. So, Hesa, I'm sure you remember this because this is a critical part of our Raising Awareness class. So, at the beginning of our Raising Awareness class, our teacher told us to choose between the 17 SDGs. So, for those of you who might don't know, the SDGs are Sustainable Development Goals. Those are the goals that the countries in the United Nations agree on back in 2015, and there are 17, and some of them are quality education, reducing poverty, life below water, and one of them are gender equality. And we chose this one, we chose gender equality. And I want to emphasize this because I know how important we think this issue is and like how critical it is for the betterment of the world. Like if women and other overlooked gender didn't have the same opportunities as men, then how are we going to evolve as a community? Like how are we going to be an advanced society when not all genders have the same chances? Throughout so many years, many women and girls are treated unequally from many aspects, like either it's harmful stigmas and stereotypes or educations that are taken from an early age. Maybe, kita sekolahin sampai SD aja, but after that, we're just gonna give her an arranged marriage. So they don't give them the chance to get knowledge and to build their foundation to develop their critical thinking. So education was supposed to be this key to life. And if many girls out there do not have the chance to get it, then how are they going to develop as human beings when they are not given this key? So that was my take on why I chose Goal Path between the SDGs. So our project and our product, so we currently have two products. The first one is an ongoing monthly online newsletter, and the second one is an Instagram account. So we currently have 2 volumes of the online newsletter, and the first one is the story of Raden Ajeng Kartini, sorry, and the second one is a further look on women in science. Actually, it kind of surprised me because I didn't thought we would be this committed, but here we are, because I thought after the volume 1 we're just gonna drop it because we still have so many things that we need to work on, like school projects, summatives, and stuff like that. But here we are with 2 volumes, and overall I'm really proud of the 3 of us. And our second product is an Instagram account to promote our newsletter and to spread awareness about our issues and our goals. Initially, the Instagram account was just to promote our newsletter, but then we saw this as a chance to spread awareness and to talk more about our project, our goals, about gender equality and about women empowerment. So in our account, we already talked about, we already posted about a brief guide to gender equality, and then more about the goal 5 or the gender equality goal in the SDGs, and then about the SDGs itself. So don't forget to check us out on the.lefam.project here, and make sure to give it a quick read. So to make us to make our project organized, we split, we sort of create, we sort of decide that each project is going to have their own PICs, or person in charge. So the person in charge for the Instagram account is me, while the person in charge for the newsletter is Heisa and Tokyo. Tokyo is not here right now, but if you're watching this right now, thank you so much for APA helping us gaining resources. Really appreciate it. Thank you. It matters a lot. Yeah, so the Instagram account PIC is me, and the newsletter is Heisa and Tokyo. So as the PIC of the newsletter, Heisa, I want to know, like, what are your struggles and your stories while creating the newsletter?
Okay. Sorry. So while making the newsletter, I found like many struggles that face me, but like this like the big struggles that I face and maybe and our team face gitu. So the first one is finding the topic. Finding the topic is like the tugas buat semua member of the team gitu. We have like meeting between Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because like itu waktu kosong kita bertiga, and we discuss about apa yang mau kita rilis nih buat apa yang mau kita newsletter apa yang mau kita rilis buat hari Jumat gitu. And kita abis itu pilih main topiknya, terus topik selanjutnya kan di newsletter kita there are 3 topics that we discuss. Jadi nanti ada main topic, ada film maybe, and others topic. And sebenarnya nggak itu doang, kita juga discuss about kapan nih, jam berapa, kira-kira mau jam berapa rilis maybe announce about newsletternya mau jam berapa, terus apa yang mau diisi gitu di announcementnya, biar kayak orang-orang tertarik buat baca newsletternya dan subscribe gitu. And sebenarnya buat satu meeting aja itu nggak cukup sebenarnya buat kita buat finding the topic of 3 of the content di newsletter gitu. Jadi ya agak susah juga buat finding the topic karena itu harus muter otak lagi kan. And the second struggle that I found is make the content of the newsletter or maybe the body of the newsletter, because like I must read at least 2 articles for one topic, and I must like I read the articles, and while I read I must take note of all. Jadi agak pekerjaannya 2 gitu, jadi nggak terlalu fokus. And after like I'm done with those articles, I write the newsletter. So I think it's taking a lot of time, and time for writing the newsletter is limit karena aku biasanya habis ngesortir articles yang dari Tokyo kasih ke aku, terus aku sortir lagi, terus aku baca lagi, terus take note, terus write the newsletter. Itu biasanya write the newsletternya itu kayak between hari Rabu atau hari Kamis. Jadi kayak kejar-kejaran waktu, because we release the newsletter is in Friday, right? So kejar-kejaran sama waktu, belum dikoreksinya bahasanya gimana dan segala macam, grammarnya gitu. So yeah, it's my struggles while making the newsletter. So talk about our second product is an Instagram account called the.levam.project. Our Instagram account contains the introduction of SDGs goals, the introduction of goal 5 in SDGs, which is the gender equality, some iconic people that support gender equality, and the announcement or the information about our newsletter. So as the PIC of the Instagram account, can you tell us about your story or your struggles while making the content of the Instagram?
Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you that it is not as easy as I expected at all, because honestly, when we pas kita pertama kali bagi-bagi tugas, like, okay, Heisa sama Tokyo focus the newsletter, and then I focus on the Instagram page. I was like, how hard could it be? And then turns out it was complicated, and it was it was full of kayak benar-benar ribet gitu, kayak rumit gitu. There's so many things that I have to take care of while handling our Instagram account. Aku bukan yang mau nakut-nakutin atau gimana buat yang projectnya mau bikin Instagram account. I just like you need to have kayak preparations and like to think about so many things while handling Instagram accounts. So the first struggle that I want to tell is like it corresponds with Heisa's struggle, and it's time management. So as Hesa just said, we always meet at Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to talk about newsletters, about our next volume of the newsletter, because on on Monday until Thursday itu when we have school, and then like biasanya paling sibuk itu hari-hari segitu, and then we always meet at the 3 days at the end of the week. And then we release the newsletter minggu depannya at Friday, and then we always post the announcement 3 days prior to the newsletter release, which is on Wednesday. And then on Selasanya itu belum tentu dapat topik fixnya, belum tentu dapat like headlinesnya. So like for example pas volume kemarin agak cerita dikit. Pas volume kedua hari Selasa itu kita masih debatin headline-nya kayak Hesa ini headline-nya apa? Tahu gitu, padahal itu udah hari Selasa dan besoknya harusnya udah rilis, dan hari itu aku sebenarnya udah punya bahannya dan harus udah bikin udah halfway through the project postnya gitu ya, announcement postnya. And then aku juga kebetulan waktu itu lagi di luar kota dan kayak lagi kumpul bareng keluarga juga. So while everyone's like Lili makan-makan, I was like chatting with Hesa, ini headline-nya apa? Do you know yet? Yang artikel ini judulnya apa?
Oh, okay.
Like, the summary of the main article itu apa? So it was quite tiring, but overall it's an enjoyable process for me. And then the second one is consistency. I think everyone that at one point or sekarang masih become a digital content creator know how important consistency is, because our followers and everyone out there need to know that kita tuh masih aktif, kayak kita tuh masih ada gitu. Like we're still here, we're still talking about gender equality, we're still spreading messages. Don't leave yet gitu. So consistency is important. That's why we set it to we set our Instagram to be weekly gitu. So each week we post at least one post about gender equality and women empowerment, like maybe the people that contributes in gender and supporting gender equality and women empowerment, or more about what is gender equality. Pokoknya post tiap minggu so people know that we're still here. And it's quite a struggle because I still have school gitu, especially when we have to post around summative weeks, and it was very stressful because summative here, summative that, and then there's the LEFAM project. So it was a challenge banget to manage my time, and then to manage when I'm going to make this post, and then when I'm going to continue on my summatives. And then it also motivation also plays a lot of plays a big role, plays a huge role in creating the post, because pasti walaupun I really enjoy creating and handling the Instagram content and being a part of the LEFAM project, pasti tetap ada bosannya, like kayak tar aja deh lagi nggak mood gitu. And I can't do that because I already commit to, aku udah bilang sama Hesa, aku udah bilang sama Taki juga kalau we're going to do this weekly. So motivation is one of the things that I need to work on when working on this project. And then my minor struggles are like finding the topics. And it's actually really important because kalau yang tadi Hesa bilang, newsletter juga salah satu struggle-nya finding the topics, because we need to find the topics that people want to read, that make people want to swipe left gitu, yang bikin orang pengen baca. And then like belum bahasanya, because most of our followers are students and teachers. Because there are teachers, we can't make it too informal. Well, because there are students, we can't make it too formal. So harus di tengah-tengah gitu bahasanya. And then the second one is like finding the right time to post and how to gain audience as much as we can. finding the right time to post is actually very crucial because contohnya kalau kita post nih hari Selasa jam 10 pagi gitu, kan karena kita rata-rata followersnya itu students, pasti mereka juga lagi belajar gitu, lagi online class, and then yang teachersnya juga pasti lagi ngajar. So there's a big chance that gak bakal ada yang lihat gitu posannya, dan posannya juga gak bakal nyampe. So we have to pinter-pinter kayak nyari the right time to post. Like misalnya mungkin kalau hari biasa bisa jam 12 siang karena orang-orang lagi pada lunch break, lagi pada istirahat. Atau mungkin buat beberapa sekolahnya udah selesai online learning gitu, udah selesai PJJ. Atau misalnya sore-sore jam 5 gitu, karena orang-orang mungkin lagi pada santai, lagi pada buka Instagram, atau mungkin waktu pas puasa, aku ikut banget sering post sekitaran jam 6 gitu, sekitaran buka puasa. Mungkin orang-orang lagi pada santai nunggu buka puasa, atau sambil buka puasa lihat-lihat IG, so they would came across our post. So I think those are my main struggles as the PIC of the Instagram account. Once again, make sure to give us a quick look here on at the LEFM project. I repeat, the.lefm.project. Give it a quick read and don't forget to follow. And might as well subscribe to our monthly newsletter so to keep up with the news updates on gender equality and women empowerment and help give tribute to amazing yet overlooked figures of gender equality. Well, of course, our whole project wouldn't make it without the guidance and lessons from the Raising Awareness class. Asa, what do you think? Like, what are your favorite moments from the class, or your favorite stage, your favorite phase, and anything you want to say?
Okay, so first time joining the class, I'm not imagine like the class is gonna kayak kita bakal satu kelas sama sama yang ambil goals lain, karena when we choose the class, itu di katalognya itu per goals, jadi dikira aku bakal kelas itu per goals, and ya kayaknya aku juga nggak baca banyak, jadi informasinya nggak nangkep gitu. But first time joining the class, minggu-minggu pertama kita dijelasin kayak SDGs goals tuh apa aja, terus ada 17-nya apa aja, terus kayak gimana-gimananya gitu. Kita semua dijelasin tentang SDGs goals, terus after we udah dijelasin, we working on Padlet. Jadi kita ngerjain Padlet to focus on our goals, our own goals gitu. Like me, I choose like the gender equality. So the Padlet is for bikin kita tuh makin jelas kayak kamu ngapain milih goals ini, kamu kayak kenapa milih goals ini, terus kayak kamu mau ngapain dengan goals ini gitu. Dibikin jelas, jadi nggak kayak kamu masuk kelas terus milih ini udah selesai gitu, enggak, dibikin jelas gitu. And the third one is before we do the project, we do the last project itu we do the Jamboard assignment. So the Jamboard assignment is to gampangin kita milih produknya apa gitu. So the Jamboard assignment kita bertiga ngisi di Jamboard itu, dibagi jadi 4 kotak kecil. So strength, SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis. So there are
strengths. The one who remembers the O's and the T's.
Yeah. So I just remember the S, like it's strength and weakness. So we write our strength, like kita sukanya apa, kita bisanya apa, kita bertiga. So we write, kita suka nulis gitu. Terus aku Dita suka desain. So pokoknya kita tulis apa yang kita bisa, apa yang kita hobi, apa yang kita suka di strength. And for the weakness, kayak mungkin apa yang kita nggak bisa atau apa yang kita nggak terlalu passion di situ. Kayak misalnya bikin video, kita bisa bikin video, tapi kita nggak passion di situ. Jadi kita kayaknya nulis video di bagian weakness. And for the OT aku lupa itu apa. So the Jamboard is very helpful for us to decide kita mau milih produknya apa. So the last one is do the project. It's quite kayak ruwet gitu, tapi it's enjoy karena kita bertiga lumayan dekat kan. terus komunikasinya juga gampang. Jadi kalau untuk make the group project juga kayaknya nggak terlalu susah buat komunikasinya gitu. Dan seperti yang tadi dibilang itu kan kita punya PIC for own um, for own project produk gitu. Jadi aku handle newsletter, Dita handle Instagram. So itu di project karena ini saling bersangkutan project ya. Jadi sebelum kayak aku bikin newsletternya, aku juga harus koordinasi dulu sama Dita. Tapi sebelum Dita bikin announcement ya, Dita juga harus koordinasi dulu ke aku. So it's quite complicated, but yeah, it's fun. Projectnya agak ya kita cuma punya 1 minggu untuk ngerjain projectnya. Tapi ya syukur alhamdulillah kita bisa rilis tepat waktu, terus announcementnya juga tepat waktu. So yeah, that's all from me. Dit, how kalau lu sendiri?
Okay, for me, I think my journey begins when I read the catalog, pas masih program selection, pas lagi milih-milih program. So kayak yang tadi Hesa bilang, waktu itu nama program itu bukan raising awareness aja, tapi raising awareness per goal ada raising awareness gender equality and raising awareness quality education, raising awareness reducing poverty. And then when I read that there will be a class called Raising Awareness Gender Equality, I was like, this is it, because I've been keeping up with the topic for like 1 or 2 years by then. And then I thought that this is a chance for me to talk more about this topic, to learn more about this topic. And while getting credits gitu, while still dapat nilai. So yeah, so I think my journey begins there. Dan yang kayak tadi Heisa bilang, walaupun I know that what I'm fighting for, I know what are my ambitions, ketika masuk kelas raising awareness tuh kayak lebih diperjelas lagi gitu, kayak lebih diperjelas kayak lebih ditajemin lagi sebenarnya why do you want to do this, and then like do you have any personal experience, and then what are you going to do with this thing. Pokoknya kayak kita masuk kelas tuh jadi awalnya udah dipersiapin gitu, udah ada persiapan. Dan jadi pas lanjut kelas tuh gak yang clueless banget gitu ya, enggak apa ini kayak gitu banget, kayak kita udah tahu like kita ngapain di sini, and then like what can we do to like support this. And then in the raising awareness class, there are like 5 steps: investigation, planning, action, reflection, and exhibition. Investigation itu yang Padlet tadi, yang tadi aku bilang dan Hisa juga sempat bilang. And then di investigation, kita ada lagi lebih dalam sebenarnya gender equality itu apa sih, and then like why is it important gitu. And then kalau lawannya gender inequality itu apa, and then like why how to prevent it, and then like again why we do have to prevent it. So pokoknya di investigation we're like there's so many why, and then to really found out what are we fighting for, and then like how can we support this. And then there's planning. Planning tuh kayaknya yang tadi Hisa bilang, yang the Jamboard assignment, yang SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, and like Hisa, I don't really remember the OT, but pokoknya di strength kita analysis lagi gitu. By that time, kita udah bertiga, aku, Hisa, sama Tokyo, and then we're like, okay, what are our strengths? Okay, we're close, so nanti komunikasinya gampang, bertukar pikiran juga gampang. And then there's the weakness. By that time, I think we already have like a possible product, dan waktu itu possible product kita tuh Zine. Okay, so what is the weakness of Zine gitu? Okay, mungkin kalau Zine kita cuma bisa print beberapa copy, like I don't know 3 or 4, 5 gitu, dan itu mungkin akan tersebar cuma ke orang-orang sekitar kita aja, dan message-nya nggak akan tersebar ke orang banyak gitu. Okay, so I don't think we can do Zine. Tapi coba deh, strength-nya apa? Strength-nya we like to write, we like to design. And we've done this before, so and we really enjoy the process. So I think we can do this again. But still, we have those weaknesses. Okay, so there goes Zine gitu. And then here comes online newsletter. Okay, online newsletter, I think that might be it gitu. I think that is the first product that we settled with. Okay, online newsletter. Kenapa? Kita suka nulis. We're good at writing. And then Heisa and Tokyo are good at designing, and then I was good at designing. And then we still need a platform to promote our newsletter, to talk about our newsletter, to support our newsletter. And then okay, let's make an Instagram account. And ironically, I was the one who really opposed the Instagram account choice because aku yang kayak, udahlah kayaknya jangan Instagram account deh, soalnya kayak udah banyak gitu yang bikin. But still, we need a platform to talk about our newsletter. Okay, so yaudah balik lagi ke Instagram account, akhirnya kita bikin. And then here I am doing the PIC for the Instagram account. Pretty ironic. And then we also saw this as a chance. Yaudah, karena kita udah bikin Instagram account, sekalian aja we talk about gender equality and women empowerment. So like, gak usah reach kayak banyak orang. Ya, emang udah banyak yang bikin akun kayak gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya orang sekitar kita juga pasti banyak yang belum tahu, banyak yang belum tahu lebih banyak tentang gender equality. So gak usah jauh-jauh ke sana dulu, orang sekitar kita dulu aja kita kasih tahu dan ajak diskusi dan give information about gender equality. And then we received so many positive response, and thank you so much. And then there's action. Di action ini kita juga sempat dikasih kayak, kita sempat ada workshop, and then the workshop waktu itu guest speakernya kayak co-founder akun Instagram yang udah gede gitu, udah established platformnya, udah bagus gitu. And then we gained so many insights like how to make our project sustainable, and then like how to gain engagement as much as we can gitu. And it was very, very insightful. So the last part that we've done is like the reflection. And the reflection, I think it's very important because we get to look back at if we can do things differently, what would we do? And then for now, what can we improve? What can we do for now? Okay, so maybe kita time managementnya masih berantakan ya. Maybe you can work on that. So yes, I think that's it for me on my learning journey. And it was overall very enjoyable. And if I could redo it again, I probably will. So how is this project useful for us in the future? Hesa, you may want to go first, because I think you have a lot to say on this part.
Okay, so before we talk about how this project useful for me in the future, like I want to talk about how ERAC raising awareness class impact me. So before joining the ERAC class, like I saw the many issues that kayak merendahkan perempuan gitu. But like, okay, I'm mad, but like I don't do anything gitu. Kayak aku nggak ngelakuin apa-apa buat ngebela itu. And after joining the class and after doing the project with Dita in Tokyo, I realized, oh my god, ternyata aku nggak sesadar itu sama sekitar aku dan sama yang kayak gitu. Padahal kayak harusnya peduli gitu sama sama manusia dan segala macamnya. Di era kelas juga dijelasin dari gender equality, terus kita nyari apa itu gender equality, apa itu gender inequality, kita cari semuanya. Dan banyak banget nih yang nggak aku cari tahu tentang ini gitu. I'm focused on my study, but like I'm not focused on this gitu. Harusnya kan lebih balance gitu harusnya, tapi kayak ya gitu. And like I would like to say thank you to ERA class and Miss Maria and my friends in the ERA class, karena di ERA class juga kita waktu itu sempat kayak misalnya ada project, terus kita kayak sempat present satu-satu and we see their project, their process gitu. And dari situ kita mungkin bisa dapat kayak inspirasi dan segala macam. So I would like to say thank you for all students in ERA class and Miss Maria too. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about the project useful for me in the future. So in this project we must to have like a commitment to do the project. Aku tuh orangnya kayak bisa komitmen tapi bukan untuk waktu yang lama karena aku orangnya kayak gampang bosenan gitu. Jadi kalau untuk komitmen untuk waktu yang lama agak susah. But like this project it's must kayak harusin aku buat komitmen. Dan kayaknya kalau untuk project ini buat komitmen nggak untuk waktu yang lama itu nggak terlalu yang susah-susah banget karena juga orang-orangnya deket gitu. Jadi komunikasinya juga gampang, terus apa ngerjain proyeknya juga nggak susah gitu. And but like commitment gitu. Because like as I mentioned before, kita kayak ngerjainnya cuma have a 1 week for do the project. And yeah, it's quite overwhelmed. Kadang-kadang ngerasa kayak overwhelmed gitu. But like, okay, kayak aku udah komit gitu di awal. Kita kayaknya setim udah komit gitu. Oke, kita do the project for a long term gitu. Oke, jadi gitu. And for my second uh, point is responsibility. Karena aku yang aku dan Tokyo kan yang nanggung besar di newsletter. But like karena Tokyo tuh di tengah-tengah dari aku dan Dita. Jadi Tokyo juga bantu Dita, tapi Tokyo juga bantu aku. So tapi Dita have a big role for the Instagram, and I have the big role for the newsletter. So oke, Tokyo bantu aku, tapi kan aku sebagai like the IC and have a big role for the newsletter, kayak aku nggak bisa kayak cuma ngandelin Tokyo dong. Aku juga harus improve gitu. So buat rasa tanggung jawab aku buat project ini lebih besar ketimbang aku ngerjain project-project yang lain buat assignment lain gitu. Kayak kalau assignment lain kan gini ya, kalau assignment lain oke, ini between aku dan guru aku dan nilai gitu, karena ini menyangkut nilai. So responsibility-nya ya sebisa aku gitu, oke, maybe like I'm improve little, but okay, maybe kayak kalau aku ngerasa cukup, oke, cukup gitu. Tapi do this project, kayak aku ngerasa cukup, aku baca ulang lagi, kok aneh ya gitu, baca lagi terus koreksi lagi, dan ya responsibility-nya lebih gede gitu ketimbang aku ngerjain assignment lain. Iya sih. Dan poin-poin tadi yang aku sebutin itu bakal kayak berguna buat kayak aku misalnya nanti di dunia kerja atau di dunia perkuliahan, karena kan beda banget ya sama dunia persekolahan kayak SMP, SMA gitu. Beda banget gitu. So, yeah, that's all from me. Dit, gimana? Lu sendiri?
So for me, kalau skills itu yang aku dapat mirip banget sama Heisa. Sebenarnya bukan mirip lagi sih, sama commitment. Aku juga type of person that really hard to that is struggling to focus on one thing buat jangka waktu yang lama gitu. Kebetulan aku kan juga suka nulis, and then ketika aku nulis aku kayak and then udah deh nulis, and then I quit it halfway gitu. Udahlah nanti aja lanjutinnya, udah ada ide baru gitu. And then yang ini gak selesai, yang ini juga gak selesai. So I think kalau raising awareness nggak bisa gitu kan. Oke, post ini post itu, udahlah berhenti gitu, lanjutinnya nanti aja. Nggak bisa karena I already commit to, aku udah bilang juga sama Hisa, sama Tokyo, sama Maria, okay, we need to make this project sustainable, we need to make this project a long-term one. So, buat latihan juga, in the future, kayak yang tadi Hisa bilang, mungkin kalau udah kerja, kan nggak bisa quit halfway, kayak how we used to do gitu. So, I think this project taught me a lot about commitment, more than I think it would be gitu. I think how it would teach me gitu. And I think, so commitment is one of the skills that I picked up from this project. Karena udah bilang kan sama Hisa sama Tokyo, kayak masa mau ditinggalin gitu aja kan gak mungkin. And I think the second one that I picked up from this project is social awareness. So although I'm aware of gender equality, I know what gender equality is, tanpa sadar aku juga sering bilang hal-hal yang justru mendukung gender inequality, yang merendahkan satu sisi. Jadi dengan gender equality ini dengan project ini, karena kan banyak research lagi sebenarnya apa sih yang bisa mendukung gender equality, apa yang sebenarnya ucapan-ucapan sehari-hari yang sebenarnya jauh banget melenceng, bukan melenceng sih, sangat bertolak belakang dengan topik yang aku dukung gitu. So with this project, I'm aware of more like dangerous stigmas, stereotypes, ucapan, and then with this I can help gak usah orang-orang di luar sana. I can help me, I can help myself to I shouldn't say that anymore because it is degrading one side gitu. And then I can help the people around me, my friends, my families, to I think you shouldn't say that because it's kind of disrespectful. Jadi kayaknya kata-kata diganti deh atau kayak do you know that it is actually it is actually itu salah gitu loh. And I think they should be allowed to do this and that gitu. And then the third one is kind of unexpected, but I think it was possible careers because by handling the Instagram account, I found the joy in creating digital content, and it probably could be my future source of income. Like, who would know that maybe in the future I become a blogger or like food blogger, travel blogger, or probably admin akun social media of one company. So who knows? I found the joy in it. Might as well create it might as well it be my source of income. So I think that's it for me on like how is this project useful for us in the future. Like kayak kita belajar banyak gitu daripada yang kita expect. Ternyata kita banyak banget dari project ini.
Yep. So now we open up the Q&A session. So
if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. I think we have
banyak ya.
Where should we start?
Okay, wait.
Wait. Okay, so Heza, have you found your question?
No, yet.
Heza, is there like any question that you want to answer first?
Say
thank you for all the appreciation. We appreciate it. Okay.
Maybe this is from Miss Ami. Okay. Good. Okay, how's your plan in the future to make your project sustainable? Okay, would you consider to invite more friends to involve your team in your project? Okay, so bareng-bareng aja ya jawabnya. Bareng-bareng aja jawabnya.
Oh yeah, okay.
So for making this project sustainable, I think kita kayaknya nggak punya plan apa-apa ya.
Maksudnya for me, kayak gue waktu itu sempat kepikiran sih. Okay, actually go first, go Fanny.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so one of the tips that I picked up from the workshop itu adalah keep inviting more and more people to our project, and then we don't really have a plan to invite more people in our project for now, but we are considering that we are to add contributors to our newsletter. I think it's Miss Ami and Pariski who kayak yang kita waktu itu, and then we think about it and maybe it could work gitu karena dengan banyak orang yang meluangkan pikirannya di newsletter kita, jadi lebih banyak ide, and then like lebih banyak pikiran-pikiran di newsletter kita, dan it's gonna make our newsletter more interesting. Lisa, what do you think?
Ya, sama sih jawabannya. Nggak apa-apa, samain aja. Oke. Lagi nyari pertanyaan, sebentar.
Oke. Ada apa ini?
Okay.
Yeah.
I found one. Okay. Would you protest for equal rights if you are back in the year where girls are treated unfairly? Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first since I already go first tadi?
Bentar. Would you protest for equal rights if you are back in the year? Yeah, I guess because like karena sebenarnya dari dulu juga sempat kayak pengen terjun ke dunia kayak gini gitu. Know itu gender equality and inequality, tapi kayak lebih mementingkan study. So but kayak kalau misalnya bisa balik lagi ke tahun sebelumnya. Like maybe like I will protest, I will post story about it. Kayak misalnya ada isu-isu gitu. Aku kayak biasanya apa? Biasanya kayak Dita waktu itu aku sering lihat kalau misalnya like ada isu yang kayak merendahkan perempuan atau kayak merugikan perempuan itu Dita sering banget nge-share dan post story gitu. And like oh okay gitu. I just like see the Dita story and like swipe gitu. Apa ganti story orang lain dan segala macam. But like yeah, I will do same thing like Dita kalau misalnya bisa balik lagi ke apa tahun kemarin. Kalau sendiri lu sendiri.
Okay, for me, kalau aku tadi baca pertanyaan dari Osaki, I think
Yeah.
then, would you protest for equal rights if you are back in the year where girls are treated unfairly? Kalau aku ya atas pertanyaan ini agak beda. Aku dapetnya tuh kayak zaman dulu banget gitu.
Okay.
It was still kayak kental banget. Although it is still now, tapi kayak it's better kan. I think I would, but honestly, I'm not really sure because it is very normalized at that time.
Yeah.
Kalau misalnya kita gak sadar, kita nggak bakal tahu kalau misalnya we're treated unfairly because it was very normalized. It was a normal thing. So I think it would took me a long time to realize, ternyata selama ini gue diperlakuin begini.
Yeah.
Mau aja. I think I would, but as like I said, I think it would take me a very long time to realize because how normalized it is back in the, I don't know, 1900s. So yes, I think that's it.
Okay. Okay. Nemu deh, bentar. It's about, I think, apa kayak dress up gitu.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
So, yeah. Nemu.
Ini ya yang, what was your first
thought
when you heard that women were being treated differently from men? And also, how do you feel about men wearing skirts or dresses? From Gea Gerard. For your question, it's really interesting. He said, you want to go first? Or should I go first?
Gimana kalau bareng?
Soalnya dulu, biar organize gitu.
Okay. So, I feel like when I see men wearing a skirt or a dress gitu, kayak apa ya? Karena dulu apa ya, masih kental banget kayaknya sama Jawa dan segala macam. Jadi aku dulu waktu ngeliat kayak gini kok aneh ya cowok pakai rok, like but like when I grow up I see apa banyak banget karena kan lewat social media gitu, TikTok, Instagram gitu. I see a lot kayak di luar negeri gitu. Kan beda ya di luar negeri sama Indonesia gitu. So, ternyata sebenarnya kayak it's okay kalau misalnya asal mereka nyaman dan pede gitu, it's okay gitu sebenarnya kan, kayak nggak ada masalah gitu. Ya, sebenarnya kayak ya simpelnya gitu sih, kalau misalnya pede dan nyaman ya udah pakai aja gitu, nggak usah yang kayak gendering clothes gitu, nggak usah. Ya itu sih gitu kalau dari sudut pandang aku gitu.
Okay. For me, aku mau jawab yang what was your first thought when women were being treated differently from men. Jujur waktu dulu kayak misalnya in elementary times or like maybe in the first half or like all year 7, I didn't really realize, I think, until I read so many things like, oh iya ya ternyata there's so many things going on a lot banyak hal-hal yang gak enak yang sering menimpa perempuan, like misalnya verbal sexual harassment gitu, or misalnya lebih parah lagi perbedaan derajat gitu, kayak misalnya perempuan yang pendidikannya kurang diprioritaskan daripada laki-laki gitu. And then when I first thought about it, I was like, that is ternyata sedih gitu lah. That is really sad. Ternyata masih banyak orang-orang yang banyak perempuan yang ngalamin itu gitu lah. Jadi I think it makes me really mad because kita udah 21st, we're in the 21st century, kita udah di 2021. We're in 20th century or 21st century? Kita udah di 2021, masa masih ada sih yang kayak gini, terutama di Indonesia gitu. Jadi so my first thought that I was really sad, and at the same time I was really mad. And then for the second question, I think it's about the clothing. I kind of lost tadi hilang questionnya. Okay. Sama kayak Heisa, jujur waktu awal-awal ya pasti karena kita we were raised in a society that where benar-benar gender norms itu kayak dikuatin banget, kayak misalnya women kayak rata-rata pakai rok, and then in some areas I've heard that in some areas women aren't allowed to wear pants. In some areas, I've heard. And then balik lagi, tapi makin kesini kan kayak sering lihat juga, ternyata laki-laki ada juga yang nyaman pakai dress and then like skirts. Jadi sama balik lagi ke poinnya Hisa, kalau misalnya if you're comfortable and if you liked it, then you should go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. Semangat.
Oke. Udah?
Okay.
Lupa
lagi. I think there
ada dari Ica. Gimana dari
Ica?
Yeah.
Okay. Who take initiative to bring the gender equality issue to the surface in your team?
Dita.
Okay, so I think it's actually the three of us, karena when we first create Lefam Project, kita tuh bareng karena kita mau milih goal yang sama.
Tapi lu yang paling excited.
Yes. I've been keeping, as I said before, I've been keeping up with it for like, I don't know, 1 or 2 years. Yes, I was really excited when when there's this class and then we're gonna make a project about it. I was really excited, but I think kalau ditanya lagi, who takes the initiative to bring the gender equality issue to the surface in your team? I think it's three of us because we basically jadi bareng, jadi bisa bikin Lefam Project karena kita semua pilih goal gender equality. Gitu.
Okay.
Udah. Bu Mutiara, can we answer more questions since I don't know, kayaknya waktunya udah mulai.
Ya, udah mau selesai. Okay, langsung aja.
Atau masih boleh jawab lagi atau udah? It's 10:52. I think we're supposed to finish at 10:55. Okay.
I think it's already time.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so sorry for the pertanyaan yang kita belum bisa jawab, but if you still have any more questions, please contact us here. Ini ada email aku, and ini ada emailnya Hisa juga, and again, don't forget to follow our Instagram, the.lefam.project. And lastly, thank you so much for listening to our Bincang-Bincang session. Hisa, do you have any more to say?
Maybe like sorry for for maybe the interruption or the bahasa yang mungkin kita switch to languages, so mungkin ada yang apa ini artinya gitu, atau ada yang kebelibet-belibet ya.
Okay, so thank you so much, and we'll see you on probably our next Bincang-Bincang session, and maybe for some of you in class. Goodbye.
Wow, thank you so much, Dita and Heisa, for your inspiring session. They really shown us their achievement from what they have learned through the virtual classroom, and also they shown their effort to make a good impact for society. I hope that you enjoyed the session and have learned something new from them. I would like to remind you all that today is the last day of the event, but after the session, we still have lots of events coming. You can browse through our virtual gallery on our website. You can also see all our events on our website or check out other stream events on Sekolah Cikal official YouTube. Don't forget to upload your fun moment in the playground on your Instagram story, tag @Sekolah Cikal, and use Playground of Learning Journey hashtag. Lastly, I would like to say thank you one more time to all of the audience here today. fellow students, proud parents, and also respected guests. Thank you for having me as your host. Good morning and see you!